Hey everyone, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for this really pretty necklace from the Serengetti Safari collection for Bargain Bead Box of May 2026. I love the way this turned out. I used a bail from one of their previous boxes and a bead cap from one of the previous boxes. And then I used some of my own stash bead caps I will show you in the tutorial. And few of my seed beads, and you know me, I have to always have to add seed beads to everything. If you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it's a monthly box. I have a coupon code BNJ2 for $2 off your first box with them. These boxes are $24.99 a month, and they're regularly valued at $60. This one's valued at $90.81. There were so many different gemstones in here, so pretty. I love the way this turned out. And I didn't use any of that gold. I ended up using copper with this, but I will be using gold in some of my next tutorials. I wanted to add copper with this. I just thought it looked really pretty like that. But you could do a copper bead cap if you wanted. It would stand out more. But it was just my personal preference. So if you want to learn how to make this, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'm starting out. I took the Jasper Teardrop Pendant, the leopard skin one, and I put a bead cap on it, and then I put a jump ring on it. I've done this quite a few times, and then I ended up adding a bail. Now, the bead cap was from one of the other boxes from Bargain Bead Box, and then the bail was from one of the other bead boxes too. I can't remember which one, but I did that. So I have this, that looks really pretty. I love putting a bead cap right there. I do that on a lot of my tutorials when I do that. And then this is the beading wire I'm using. So if you want to screenshot it, some people like to do that. And then bring it, I just get this at Michael's. And I have, I think, let me measure. I always start this video before I measure it. So let's see, we have 12. We have almost 24 inches. So I like to have a little bit of extra wire. So what I'm taking, I got the Jasper pendant. I got the 8mm agate beads, the round Z beads. And then I got the crystal rondelles. And then these gorgeous crystal faceted triangle beads in Safari Mix. Those are so pretty. Then, of course, I have a few copper bead caps from my stash. They're little flower ones. And then I have gold metallic. I'm just using just a hint of it in 11.0 from Michael's. And then from Hobby Lobby, they're Czech seed beads, the 11.0 beads in brown berry. Because you know I got to add my seed beads. So, and then I have 2 crimp covers, 2 crimp beads, a lobster clasp, and 2 jump rings. So what I wanted to do, oh, and I have 2 of these little goodies. Okay, so I'm starting just by putting this through like this, and I'm going to do mostly the same pattern. So I'm going to start with these. I'm going to put, oh, yeah, what I'm doing with this box when I make all my designs is I'm treating each strand like a different box almost, because the strands are so different. Like, they give us so many gorgeous things. They did this one time before where they gave us so many different colors. I forgot the box. It was like a year and a half ago. So I actually took each strand and made a piece of jewelry off of each strand and added to it. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with this one, because everything is so gorgeous. And I kind of don't want to mix everything together because each has got its own dynamic, if that makes sense. So let me get a little bit of everything down here. So some of the triangle beads, some of the seed beads, some of the gold seed beads. Hope everybody's having a good day. So, and some of those, and then we'll start with that. Okay, so I have that. So now I'm going to do a triangle bead. Wait. Sorry. I'm going to do bead cap, and then one of these gorgeous beads, and then another bead cap, and then I'm going to, it's going to be like that, the way it starts. Then I'm going to do the crystal rondelles, then I'm going to do a triangle bead, and then I'm going to do a gold, brown berry, and a gold. And then I'm going to do another triangle bead. And then I'm going to do another one of these. Like that. And then I'm going to do another pattern where I do that. And then the round. And then the bead cap. And then I'm going to do this same pattern. I do that. That, and then the gold. These are 11 O's. Gold. That, and then that. And then we're going to go with the bead cap. Get a few more of these out. Another one of the beads and another bead cap. So I'm going to keep that, put that there, and I'm going to do this side. So we had that, so we're going to start with it's so nice and quiet because I'm filming during the week and everybody's at work, so nobody's mowing their lawns. Whenever I try to mow, filming on a Saturday, it's like my neighbors, they're really big into lawn projects. They're so sweet. They're the nicest family. But they work during the week, so on the weekends is when they're out, you know, mowing lawns. And so there's usually a lawnmower going on in the background with me. Okay. Oh. And then that. A bead cap. The round bead. And another bead cap. So this looks really pretty so far. I like this, I like that little mix. And then as I go up the sides, I do it a little smaller. I don't make it chunky going all the way up. At least not normally, I don't. But I can't say never, you know, I can't say I never do because it just depends on what I'm going for. And then gold. Yeah, so I'm doing copper and gold on this. And I'm not doing any of the gold they gave us right now. because it's a little too gold for me. But, oh, I forgot to put another triangle bead there. But it's not to say I won't use it. I just didn't want to use it in this one. There we go. So, yeah. So that looks really pretty. And I love that little sparkle in there. That, and then a triangle bead. Then a gold. Brown berry. The brown berry's really pretty. And then these. So it's just kind of like an easy pattern. And I'm going to use up 7. So there's 12 of these beads. So I'm going to do 6 on each side. And then when I get to that other side, then I'm going to change it up. Let me get some more of these champagne shimmer beads out. I love the way they give us like some, you know, beads that are very like stand out, and then like something like this champagne shimmer that can kind of go with, you know, you could mix this with anything. They do a really good job of curating. This, that, and this. And then this. And then another one of these. Okay, we're going to do one more on this side, and then we'll go to the other side. Okay, so now we're going to do the champagne shimmer. Let me know down in the comments what everybody's been working on in your bead room. I kept telling everybody I was going to do my craft room and show everybody. It's still not finished. It's been months in progress. But it will be finished soon. My husband is building my last piece of furniture. So, okay, so let me put that there. Grab something to drink really quick. Okay. Let me hold this up to my neck and see what this is. Yeah, this is so pretty. Okay, so now we're going to finish up this side. Make sure that this is all in there so you guys can see everything. Okay. New gold. All right, gold, and then triangle bead. And the champagne shimmer. That. These beads are so pretty. Oops. Need me a champagne shimmer. Let me get a few more out. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to do champagne shimmer. Okay, with that, now the champagne shimmer, and then gold, brown berry and gold, and then that, and then a champagne shimmer. That. And one more, so we're going to do the champagne shimmer, triangle bead, then the gold, brown berry and gold, another triangle bead, champagne shimmer, this, and this. Okay, let me just kind of, yeah, this is really pretty. I love this. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do now, because we're out of these beads. So I'm gonna finish this off with, let me get these triangle beads. I want to get ones, some of them are like more like muted colors, and I like the ones with a little more of the brown in them, because since they're next to the champagne shimmer ones, these they're pretty, but they don't stand out as much. Okay, so on this last one here, we have the bead cap. So now we're gonna do champagne shimmer. We're gonna do triangle bead. We're gonna do a gold, brown berry and a gold, and a champagne shimmer, or a triangle bead, and then end it with the champagne shimmer. Yeah, let me see something. I don't know, maybe no, I don't need that. So I have that, so now I'm gonna do this side, and then I think we should be ready to close it. So champagne shimmer, triangle bead, gold, brown berry, and gold. And you can use whatever seed beads you want, or you can just use everything from the box. This is just how I love seed beads, so I always have to her seed beads probably in every piece of jewelry that I have made. Okay, I just want to hold this up to my neck and see, and this is perfect. So let me get rid of these. Move these. I like to move everything to the side then, so that I can work. Okay. So let's start with this side. Now, if you're new to my channel and you've never seen how I close off my necklaces or my bracelets or jewelry, I do it a little different. The first one, on the first side, I just drop the clamshell cover all the way down. Then I take my crimp bead and I put it down about 1 inch. Then I take our pliers, and I smash that down a couple times to really make sure it's closed. Then I take this bead cap and I pull on it. And if it doesn't move, I know it's good. Then I take my round nose pliers and I turn that around and force that back down through there. And then I make sure that the crimp bead is flat in there against that. And then I close this up. And I just press it just a little bit. These are the clamshell covers I like to work with. I do use wire guards and all that stuff too. It just depends on what I'm doing. But for my necklaces, I feel like these are really secure. And I sell most of my jewelry, and I've never had anybody, you know, contact me and say this fell apart. And I wear a lot of my jewelry as well. So then what I like to do is take that little tail of the wire and feed it back through some of the beads. If I could feed it back through all of them, that's good. To me, it's kind of like insurance. So then I go like that. So then when it's down there, then I pick this up without hitting the camera like I normally do. And there's no gaps in here, and I kind of round that like this so that it's not too stiff. Then I take my clamshell cover, the next one, open it up, I put it through so it drops down to that bead. Then I take my crimp bead. What did I do with, here it is. Take my crimp bead. Oh. I take my crimp bead, Okay, so now it's like this, and then I like to hold this up. It's kind of hard to film this. I hold this up, and then I put my pliers in there, and then I lift it up just a hair, and then I flatten it. So that way there's some movement in the necklace. So I have that, so then I pull on there really hard. And I just feed some of this down through some of the beads. Try and get like 4 or 5 down if I can. If not, it's, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. I just, you know, I think it just helps. Here, this only got down a couple. So before I go and trim that, I make sure that that's flat in there. Like that. Then I hold this like this, and I get my flat nose pliers in there, and I trim that little piece up. And then I have this. Then I usually have a smaller and a bigger jump ring. The smaller one, I use for the lobster clasp. Like that. And then the bigger one is for the lobster clasp to go in. You can put a little dangle tassel on here if you want. There's a lot you can do with this. So here is the necklace all finished up. And I loved that little bail that I used. I think it just looks really pretty. It adds a little bit of, you know, a little bit of interest here in the front. So yes, like I said, I have a coupon code BNJ2 for $2 off your first box with them. This is the Serengetti Safari, the May of 2026 box. These boxes are regularly $24.99 a month, and they're usually valued at like $60. This one was valued at $90.81. So it was a really good deal. And I just think this is so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of it and if you think you'll try making it or not. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to follow me on social media. All my links are below in the description. You have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.